Hi, this is Parker Smith, shitty movie correspondent for Ready, Set, Review, and today I'm giving my review of Dr. Doolittle. Dr. Doolittle was a movie that I had to go see in its second weekend of opening, and I had to spend my own money to go see it because I lost a bet. Here's my review. It's the worst fucking movie I've ever seen in my entire life, and I hated every second of it. It was an hour and a half of torture, and now it's more torture that I have to make this review because now I have to think about the movie again, which is something I have pushed into the furthest recesses of my mind so that I don't have to think about it, but now, here it is, my review of Dr. Dolittle. It fucking sucks. The animals suck. Their animation sucks. Robert Downey Junior sucks. His accent is annoying as hell. As annoying as whispering is, imagine like the most annoying sound in the world, and that's usually what whispering is. Now imagine an hour and a half of the one character who talks on screen whispering the entire goddamn fucking time. It's so fucking stupid. And why he made that choice. He is a Welsh doctor, and he speaks with an Irish Jamaican accent. It's the stupidest goddamn character choice I've ever heard in my entire life. Anyway, the story. So Dr. Dolittle lives in his old hospital with a bunch of animals, and he's a recluse because his wife died at sea while looking for a plant, as it happens. While he's there, a girl breaks into his house, and the girl is acting on behalf of the Queen. The Queen has fallen ill, and she's asking Dr. Dolittle to come save the Queen's life because naturally, when the Queen of England is sick, she needs a vet to come and cure her. No explanation for that, but this is how the story starts. But before Dr. Dolittle goes to save the Queen of England's life, he stops to save a squirrel's life that a boy who is also breaking into Dr. Dolittle's hospital at the same exact time brings the squirrel to him because he shot the squirrel. And now he doesn't want the squirrel to die. So Dr. Dolittle saves the squirrel's life, and it turns out to be torturous because now the squirrel comes back to life, but he has like PTSD after getting shot. And I think they were trying to be funny with that, but it turned out just to be a really fucked up way to describe what happens to a squirrel after it has a near-death experience. Anyway, so Dr. Dolittle goes to the Queen's castle, and he walks into her room and talks to an octopus because the Queen has an octopus. Again, no explanation for that, just Queen has an octopus, so Dr. Dolittle talks to the octopus. Octopus says Simon Pegg's character is poisoning her. Simon Pegg's character I don't think has a name. I tried paying attention. I didn't hear a character name the entire time throughout the movie. So anyway, we're just going to call him Simon Pegg. Dr. Dolittle talks to the octopus. Octopus says that Simon Pegg is poisoning the Queen. That should be the movie's over, right? It should be the movie's over right then and there. But no, instead, Dr. Dolittle doesn't tell anybody that Simon Pegg is poisoning the Queen and instead decides to go and find the plant that will cure the poison. It just so happens, convenient fuckingly, that the Queen can be saved by the plant that Dr. Dolittle's wife was trying to find when she died at sea. That is the only plant. So, order of operations, it's not that the Queen knew she was being poisoned and therefore needed Dr. Dolittle, who knew where this plant was when his wife was looking for it before she died. That was not the order of operations. It was that the Queen needed a vet, and it just so happened that the vet was married to the only woman on this earth who knew where to find the plant to cure this very rare poison. Oh, what a wonderful fucking coincidence that is. So anyway, Dr. Dolittle gets on a boat with a bunch of animals because if you're going to go find a potion to cure the Queen, you need animals with you, obviously. So he gets on a boat and they go across the ocean. They stop at an island filled with criminals. Oh, wait, no. Before they go to the island of criminals, Simon Pegg decides to chase him down in this like futuristic battleship that's like straight out of the movie Wild Wild West with Will Smith. And it's like completely out of the ordinary that this thing would even exist in the first place, but it's even fucking worse that like Simon Pegg's character has like a twirling mustache as he's chasing this rickety old ship that Dr. Dolittle's on. So anyway, they fucking go to this island of criminals for some reason, and guess what? Antonio Banderas is there, and Antonio Banderas is Dr. Dolittle's father-in-law. This is not explained either, despite the fact that the two men are basically the same age. It's either that Antonio Banderas fathered a child when he was like 4, or Dr. Dolittle married an infant. One of those two things happened because they are son-in-law and father-in-law respectively. So anyway, Antonio Banderas wants to kill Dr. Dolittle. Not explained why, but he locks him in a room with a tiger. The tiger tries to kill Dr. Dolittle, but instead the gorilla saves Dr. Dolittle's life. And then they escape the island of criminals. But before they escape, Simon Pegg sinks the ship. And all the animals get off onto the island of criminals. And so, oh my God. And now what are we going to do? We're stuck on this island of criminals. But guess what? Antonio Banderas, for some reason now, like doesn't give a shit. And he just goes up to Dr. Doolittle and he's like, oh, I'm sorry I tried to kill you. Here's another boat. and they get on another boat and they go take off for the island. And then, without the map or anything that was on the original boat, Dr. Dolittle manages to find the island with the magic fruit, but Simon Pegg's there too. And they go into the cave where there's magic fruit and there's a tree that's growing in a cave. It doesn't have sunlight, so it's a tree that's growing without sunlight in the middle of a cave. And they open up the cave and they're like, oh, look, it's the magic fruit. Story over. Let's go back and save the queen. But instead, Simon Pegg wants to destroy the tree because he doesn't want the queen to live, because he wants the queen to die for some reason, again, not explained. He wants the queen to die. And then when he's trying to kill the tree, guess what? Oh, a fucking dragon shows up. And then the dragon farts. And it shits out a bunch of armor that belongs to, like, soldiers. And again, not explained. But then the dragon knocks Simon Pegg into a hole. Dr. Dolittle gets the fruit. He runs it back to the queen. He squeezes the fruit into the queen's mouth. The queen survives. Everybody lives happily ever after, except for, like, the Duke of England, who I guess was in on it with Simon Pegg. And so then he's, like, sent to the dungeon. And that's it. So that's the movie. It fucking sucks. It's the worst thing ever. Nobody should ever see it. I hated every second I was in the theater. Thank you, Tucker, and I hope this fucking fills my end of the bet. Peace.